Welcome. Today's video is more fun on our technical series on courts and people. Today's subject is 6 silly things that I see people do in court all the time that hurt their cases, hurt their own chances, and don't give them what they want to. I'm Matt Hamilton. I'm a trial attorney from Kansas City, Missouri, and today we're talking about this fun subject, unless you're one of the people that do these things. The first silly thing that I see people do is they send someone else into court to try to manage their case for them. It's silly enough when a 45-year-old man comes into my law office and needs to ask advice through his own mother sitting there next to him, or his girlfriend or his wife, and can't talk about the problem himself. Remember, it's your problem, and whether you want to or not, you're the person that's going to end up having to deal with it. Your girlfriend, your mom, your wife may be better at it than you, and that may be her function in your life to deal with it. But you cannot send these people in to actually do the work. I see people sending their others, whoever it is that they've delegated this function to, into court to try to represent them or try to show up for them. They don't even bother showing up themselves. That's crazy. First of all, it's illegal for that person to do that. They don't have a law office. They don't have a law license. It's called the unauthorized practice of law. They cannot represent you in court. And if you don't personally show up to handle your own problem or to ask the judge to grant you whatever it is that you're seeking, the judge legally cannot do it. The most that they can do is on their own accord delay your case. Don't ask a non-lawyer to act on your behalf. It's illegal, you can't do it, and it won't work. So don't send mama to court. The second thing that I see people do is they go to court and they ask for law advice from either lawyers that they don't know or the court clerks, most often the court clerks themselves, or the judge or the prosecutor. Well, this is a problem. I realize that might be very tempting, but this is not the type of issue that can be solved by somebody. A court clerk is going to be highly knowledgeable and highly learned in the actual procedures or the administrative tasks of the court. So you might even see a lawyer asking, how do you want this check made out to? What's the fax number? What procedure does the court like for the filing of documents? Court clerks are experts at that and the proper people to ask. But they are not lawyers, they are not judges, they are not prosecutors. You would have no more effect on asking their advice than asking them how to repair your car or how to perform a surgery. That is not their area of expertise. Court clerks are not lawyers, and any advice that they give you is just as likely to be wrong as right, other than some silly common sense. Don't bother these people asking them questions that are not in their area of expertise. Yet, laugh at the people that do, because you'll see it all the time. The third silly thing that I see people doing in court is what I would say not preparing for it. I'll give you an example. It's a criminal case. You see some criminal people come up and they've delayed and delayed and delayed the matter, and they've saved no money and taken no steps to try to pull themselves out of their own jam. I think it was President Wilson that said, the first thing you do when you find yourself in a hole is stop digging. And that's what saving no money and doing no preparation does for you. You keep digging the hole. So the third thing that I see people do is not working and planning and budgeting to fix their problem. It just gets bigger and bigger, and at the end, the result's so much worse than it otherwise would be. A lack of diligence, problem number 3. The fourth thing, what I would say, problem number 4 is the false equivalency. And we've all seen this. You know what I'm talking about. Some other dude in some other court with some other set of facts under some other different set of laws got this result, so I should get it on my own case. Personal injury actions, people say, well, the McDonald person got $3 million, so I should get 6. Or, hey, this person in California got a murder case and only got 6 months in jail, so I should get nothing. These are false equivalencies, and this is the next error that I see people make. If you change the facts of your life, or change the laws under which you live, or your location, or the time, well, of course you're going to get a different result. So you should not expect it in your case. My suggestion would be to call a lawyer that regularly practices in your area in this subject matter to get expert advice on how to do it. But the false equivalency, problem number 4, is a common intellectual mistake that people make that they really need to get over because they're only harming themselves. The fifth silly mistake that I see people make is the emotional plea. They say, gosh, I've had a hard life, and look at all the terrible things that happened. My aunt got cancer. My wife left me. The dog ate the newspaper. Therefore, please be, nice to me and give me a good result. Well, the emotional plea works in many areas of the life, but not in court. The lawyers, the prosecutors, and the judges have heard the emotional plea hundreds, if not thousands of times. It's simply they are callous to it and they don't care. It's sad to say, but that's the truth of the matter. So emotional pleas do not work. They're not effective. Unfortunately, in addition to not being effective, an emotional plea actually tends to irritate whoever it is that you're talking to because you're wasting their time and you're not being original. It may be original to you, but it's a silly mistake because it's not original to the person you're talking to. It doesn't work. So leave the emotional plea at home. Talk to your spouse, talk to your family members about it, but don't try it on the people that are actually in court trying to solve your problem because it doesn't work and slightly prejudices your case. Okay? The sixth thing is the person that tries to represent themselves. There's an old joke. A lawyer that tries to represent himself as a fool for a client. And there's a bit of truth to that. People will come into court and they'll attempt to represent themselves. Now, this is not, as a life plan, a terrible idea because so many of our problems that we think need specialized professionals either go away on their own or we can kind of muddle our way through it. Well, if you have a serious court case, say you're seriously injured, or a relative has died because of something that's not their fault, or you're charged with a crime, these are problems that are not going to go away on their own, and you're not going to be able to solve them on yourself. But if you attempt to do it, you have several problems. First of all, there's an ethical problem with whomever you're talking to, something called an ex parte contact. They're ethically not allowed to talk to you. The second thing is you're going to likely make admissions to the other side that they're going to be able to hold against it. Remember, it's their ethical duty to hold it against you. Third, you're wasting time and resources that a lawyer skilled in your position, knowledgeable in your field and in your location is going to be able to use to manage your case and try to improve it. Well, if you slay the groundwork in a bad way, then you're only making the problem worse. So it's delaying the process and harming the management of the problem. Also, you have a tendency to commit other people who are the decision makers on your case to a harsh offer. If you've already attempted to try to solve it yourself and things have gone badly, it's harder for the lawyer to step in and undo the damage that you've unwittingly done. Remember, you may be entirely logical, well-intended, honest, and forthright about it, and still harm your case in ways that you can't imagine. So don't do that. These are the ways and the silly mistakes that I see people make commonly. And having watched this video, I hope you'll be now immune and inoculated to them. For additional details and additional tips, I'd encourage you to seek out my website, and I've provided as much information as I know. Also, check out our video series on my YouTube channel where I discuss other common issues that should be specific to your case. And finally, if I just haven't thought of it, give me a call at my office and maybe we can work it out together. Well, I'm Matt Hamilton. Thank you for joining me. Have a great day.